Hey, folks. When we took off, we had a whisper friend of mine who ran cables into some corpses and is currently having ghosts that we are about to interrogate possess him. And Lauren was about to make a roll, so
Yeah,
now it's my turn to assist. And I think between the combination of getting us a whisper and playing bad cop, I'm going to spend a stress and see if I can help you lean on the spirit of this poor individual. So I'm going to spend a stress and hopefully give you plus 1d.
excellent.
Cool. And yeah, I think the collar around the corpse's neck has like arcs with like electric blue bolts and like an electroplasmic unnatural blue comes out of the whisperer's mouth as he kind of breathes in the ghost, and then it's in his body, and he flinches a bit, and then it's all you.
I think we sort of get that shot of like sort of the way too TV close shot of like Maya was being nose to nose with him, like while he's like inhaling this like blue ghost, and she just says very quietly, like, "Tell me what you saw." Tell me what you see or what happened. It looks cool and dramatic either way. And I think I'm questioning.
Cool. And I think we're risky standard. I think it's always risky talking to a ghost.
It was always just, maybe what could go wrong? Ooh, I got a 5.
All right. 5 risky. You do it, there's a consequence, you suffer harm. Yeah, I think you suffer harm. I think you get too close to him and you kind of breathe it in.
Oh,
Nice. It tastes ectoplasmic. Yeah.
Yes. And you can kind of taste his death a little bit.
Ooh.
And he says, my mates, they're throwing down on me. Why are they throwing down on me? I did what the warden asked.
Oh my god. That warden.
that explains so much. All right. So since this was risky, do you want to take level 2 harm? Do you want to test it down? Like resist? What's the just so that we get the bookkeeping out of the way. But that's a bit of a revelation. I'm not 100% sure where to go from here.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, what harm do I take from breathing in ghosts?
It's level 2, right? Because it was risky.
Yeah, but we usually have to like note it, and or Lauren may have a way to like avoid or test that down somewhat.
Got it.
Totes. Yeah, I think I would like to resist it just because I feel like I have a cool thing in mind. I think what resisting it looks like is Maya takes in a really deep breath of ghost, like we kind of see all that sort of like blue ectoplasm coming up through her nostrils.
Yeah.
She closes her eyes and like holds it there for a minute and then like exhales that purple like sort of lavender instead as like the wards that she keeps around her.
Nice.
Like sort of protect her.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Amazing.
I don't know what this is. Is this? I guess this is maybe like resisting with savvy or force or nothing. Probably.
Hey, check this out. If you hover over the sheets, it says that conviction is resisting the consequences from mental strain or willpower. Force is resisting. Come on, help me out, sheet.
Physical strain or injury.
Physical strain or injury, and savvy is resisting.
Deception or understanding. Yeah, so this must be a conviction, like sort of using avoiding mental strain or using willpower.
You can probably just click on the word conviction and it'll let you do a resist.
Yeah.
5. That means it costs you 1 stress. And then
Not bad.
Judd, is the effect reduced or negated?
I'll say it's negated. Yeah,
Awesome.
you feel one of your charms like uh what your like can you like name one of your charms or say what it looks like? Like does something flake off or what does it look like?
Ooh. Oh yeah, it's probably like some braided, dried, like sort of plant that you find out in the Deathlands.
Nice.
And I think that probably like starts to singe and smoke on its own.
Cool.
And yeah, I think slowly burns.
That's rad.
All right.
I was just saying, I think now well, my character probably just like looks at you, but like it makes sense now how the Severosi survive in the Deathlands, seeing that in action, as it were.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, though, that warden.
Yeah, I give you like an almost scared look, right? Because like Ironhook Prison is a much higher status than Bluecoats, I think. So yeah, well, actually, I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm not 100% sure. But I give you this, like, that lady has an army at her beck and call, and if we're going to start an investigation into her, I'm just like, oh, this went down roads I wasn't expecting it to go down. Look. But, you know, now we're stuck, right? Like, in for a penny, in for a pound. I can't make the person unsay it.
I think Maya even lets out that last breath of like purple ghost to like ectoplasm and says like, well, that explains a lot about what happened at the tower. I get the sense we will be seeing more of the warden in the immediate future. But, ooh, is there more we should ask our dear Whisper friend?
Do you think there's more to find out? It sounds like what we have here is patsies, right? Like we have people that are acting in the Warden's interest, but not necessarily people that have deeper conspiracy information. This ghost was clearly surprised when they were reliving the experience. They weren't like, oh, it makes perfect sense that the conspiracy wants to get rid of me on a loose end. Oh, if I only had one wish today, I would wish that X person, you know. Yeah, they seem a little bit out of it. So I think this is it, unless you feel like there's further questions to ask.
No, I think you're right. The warden seems like a very intelligent lady. I feel like she wouldn't tell her patsies more than they needed to know. And yeah, he was clearly surprised. I wonder what else I could get out of him.
So I think, Judd, did we get instructions on how to bring the Whisperer out of this, or is there like a timer? Like, do I just like flick the same 2 switches off?
Yeah, he would have told you that. You know his password.
Okay.
You know like the password he needs to come back because he uses the same one. It's probably like the name of your old gang.
Yeah, I think actually, so like this is actually the first time you've seen the Bluecoat not act. So like usually I'm like even like I'm wide-eyed and a little worried when I'm playing with like people above my station. I seem a little cocksure and like confident when I'm walking through my beat, right? But like this is the first time you actually see me look I want to say compassionate or caring, right? Like I bring the guy back out, I'm like, hey, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, I know it always burns. Here, I, set aside a glass of water for you. Like, it's obvious that we've been friends for a much longer time, and I care about this individual on a much deeper level than, like, most of the people I interact with on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I think I'm gonna see to it that my friend is okay, and, I'm also stalling, so you can feel free to cut me off whenever, because, like, I do not want to have a conversation about going back to Ironhook. So, I assure him, I'm like, oh, yeah, we found out everything we needed to. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it, buddy. You were amazing. You're still doing this stuff. It's obvious that I'm keeping the conversation up largely to keep us from having the appropriate conversation. But, you can either wait it out or how do you want to proceed?
Ooh, it's a really good question. I think Maya clears her throat and gives Drav a very knowing look. Perhaps even her eyes get a bit glowy, and she says, Um, Things are about to get a lot uglier. Uh, and there is no sense avoiding that potential pain. We must move forward and see this investigation done, as it is the Lord Governor's will, after all, and we would not want to piss him off any further. The question is where to from here. We can't simply go to the warden.
This is not my world. I'm not gonna...
Mm.
I don't know any number of people that can storm Iron Hook. I mean, we almost got into a lot more hot water than I know how to handle today. I can't imagine going back ourselves and trying to clap the warden in irons. We would not just die, our bodies would be gone so badly that the spirit wardens would never find them.
Oh, of course. I'm not suggesting we go and do the job ourselves. I'm merely suggesting that we make good on the Lord Governor's word and reach out to our networks further still. I'm sure there are some people I can speak to who can perhaps lend us some muscle.
I give you I look at, so Strash knows that you've got awesome connections on your sheet, but my blue coat just sort of gives you that, like, who the hell could you possibly know that could tango with people this far above our station? So I'm actually curious, like, what's the plan? Who are you planning to tap here?
Yeah, this is where Laura needs to reread a little bit of who's who in the zoo for.
So, I mean, we can look at your on your character sheet, because you've got people.
A bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Lord Governor, the Master Warden, who I think is the Ghost Warden, right?
And we can say that.
Or the head of the Spirit Wardens. Commander of the Watch, who is the head of all the Bluecoats, the Chief Magistrate, and the Ambassador of your home consulate. Mm. So, yeah, I don't know. Any one of those people, I could see.
Yeah,
I could see something.
I'm just thinking, because like we saw that this is like sort of kind of like a drug crime, but it looks like there's a lot of serious players involved, the warden's involved.
Right.
The commander of the watch is kind of her boss, right? Like they're hitting the Bluecoats, so maybe not her. No, maybe not them.
The commander of the watch is her boss's boss.
Yeah, I feel like unless we have some evidence.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit accusatory to go to her boss's boss and
right.
try and do this. So maybe someone more like, I could see the ambassador being a good, like, sort of someone who might know some stuff that's going on, because they have to like sort of be super connected and that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think that's where my mind goes to.
Cool.
Is talking to someone who runs in many circles.
I am 100% behind whichever tack you wanna take. I noted that your sheet has the Lord Governor as a thumbs down, so probably not him. But if we're gonna get muscle, we need to convince the City Watch that these people are on the tank. And right now, the thing that I'm most concerned about is, how do you convince them to do this thing without telling them exactly how we got the information?
Yeah, totally. Oh, unless you want to, like, I don't know. Is there a way we could kind of get some evidence on the warden before we talk to someone, like speak to her office or like?
Okay.
I don't know.
So what you're saying is basically that instead of investigating her directly because she's too big a fish to land right now, what you want to do is try and figure out how to approach her such that we could gain information on her connections and get some proof that she's rotten, so that we can then have easier support, right?
Yeah. I think that sounds like a clever way to go about it, maybe.
Okay. how do we do that? Let's toss out some ideas here.
You're off the map. I have no idea.
Well, I mean,
excellent.
To quote a police procedural that all of us possibly very much enjoy, we could get a wire. But I mean, yeah. Do we want to follow her? Do we want to try and hire someone to follow her? Do we want to see what the rumor, like, we could go and try and shake down a gang who would have people inside the prison. That's all possible.
Do you want to grab a guard and arrest them and try to lean on them?
They're all really good options. Yeah, we could. They all sound super cool. I like the idea of following her. That sounds very like on genre. Or we could, sort of like try and brush someone down.
The problem is that if you look at our skill set, we are really good at leaning on people, but none of us have prowl. We are not thieves. Like that is the tricky bit here. So we are probably better off trying to set up a trap or catch her in her favorite drinking hole or find out where that is from someone and then catch her in it or like whatever.
Yeah, you're right. I think that just definitely then sounds like sort of trying to grab someone and then squeezing them for information. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you do you have a particular tack you want to take here? Do you want to?
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like, what kind of people are we? Are we the kinds of people to go to a bar and like a sort of Bluecoat bar and try and find someone? Or are we the type of people to sort of like grab someone as they're coming off of their like?
So I'm gonna make a proposition. I was a sneaky player with fictional positioning, and I established that I already know someone and their family who happens to be a guard at the prison. So I think that it's pretty easy to flash back and say, hey, Judd, since I know this person, I also know where to find them after hours.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely.
It's smart.
Cool. Just a little blades for you there. All right, cool. So do you want to like lean on this guard? Now, I'm not willing to get super mean because I actually care about this. I think that's actually a thing that I have a talk with you about. I'm like, look, we can probably find a guard. This guy is not a bad person, but like is also not 100% clean person. So like maybe we can lean on him in some fashion or another. And I'm like, just one rule: we don't threaten his family.
An easy rule to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever necessary to get this done.
Cool. So Judd, let me paint you an idea and a scene.
Awesome.
We don't actually have a name for this person, so
cool.
If you wanna brew up one, but the idea is that this person is like after hours, and we're just gonna essentially corner them at whatever common watering hole between Ironhook and his house there is, or we could go spend a couple of coins, pick up some mushrooms and canal eels and show up at his house bringing some gifts for dinner and then have a conversation with him there. Lauren, do you have a preference?
Ooh, they both sound really sweet. I like the idea of like going to like some watering hole kind of place, like some bar.
So yeah, I think that's the plan. Is we're gonna grab some seats next to prison officer. What's their name?
You know him as Ogre.
Oh, good. Nice. That's a great name. Oof, I bring my knuckles. Oh boy, you don't get a nickname like Ogre without being extra mean. All right.
Right.
So yeah, Lauren, I think that's going to be the case. Is like where I flip a chair backwards, sit down on it, and like, hey Ogre, let me pick up the next one. You're probably going to need it with this conversation.
Yeah, and I think you guys are like in a booth kind of towards the back of the bar, and Ogre takes up a booth. He lives up to his name. He is huge. But he stoops real low because he doesn't want to intimidate anybody, and he says, he says, "Sure, sure, Draft. Whatever you want. What's the problem? Who's your friend?"
Uh, Hilariously, I think I don't know 100% know if we've I don't know, Lauren. Is this the moment when I realize that we haven't even we haven't introduced each other? Like we've been running around all day investigating these crimes, but you've heard my name because other people keep saying it. But I'm like, this is investigator, and then I pause and I look at you like I'm waiting for you to finish the sentence.
And I think like Maya sort of takes a beverage to her lips and then has to sort of bring it down and be like, investigator Maya Tui.
I'm like, listen, big guy, this is not going to be a good conversation, and I apologize in advance. But here's the deal. Investigator Tui has a mandate, and when I say mandate, I mean with all the shiny metal that says that it's Imperial. And I'm like, we've found out that...
I heard there was a mandate, somebody with an investigator in the prison.
Yeah.
They almost died. Yeah.
Well,
some of the boys were saying.
Word spreads very fast.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'd sprained my wrist. Otherwise, I would have been there. I might have almost killed you. So anyway, I don't understand. What does this have to do with me again?
So Warden Moreland is...
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's dirty is the shortest way that I can explain it. And she's involved with shots, the riots, and the murders that happened today.
All right.
The bad news is that we need somebody in the prison to take a quick gander for us at the warden's files, or maybe tell us if she's meeting with particular unusual individuals, that kind of thing.
Well, I'll tell you anything I know. I mean, it's the Emperor. I don't want any trouble. But I don't really know very much. I'm just the Northern Cell Block. I mean,
I feel so bad for this guy. All right, Lauren, how do you want to lean on this guy? Or do you want me to lean on this guy?
I was in her office twice. Once because I staved in Needle's head. Do you ever hear of the Needle?
Did I?
He was like an up and coming crime lord who ended up in Iron Hook and didn't make it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I stove in his head. He came at me with a knife, and I stove in his head. And Warden Moreland brought me in her office. That was one of the 2 times. And then the other time is when I got hired. Other than that, I haven't seen Warden Moreland much. I
give Investigator Tui a look, and it basically says we could probably get him to try and do something, but I don't think this is our guy. Maybe what we need him to do is to tell us who our guy is. So Judd, is it cool if I roll some relate? Because I'd like to actually talk to this dude as a human being and basically find out who Warden Moreland's, I'm not going to say like right hand / man / woman is, but like who the people on her inside circle are that would smuggle people into prison or out of prison or execute her will sort of like on the hush hush. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Let me, one sec. Boop. Let me get some of that relate going. I think I'm just gonna roll unless you want to help here, Lauren.
You're in a controlled great situation.
Okay.
So
all right, excellent. Let's do that. So controlled. Boop. Great. Let's see your dice for now. Bonus dice. Oof. Miss.
Wow.
Oh, I pressed 1.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay. It happens.
Oh, totes. It's about to get interesting.
Oh, actually, now that I recall, we did make one desperate roll, but continue. I'm gonna mark an XP.
He starts crying.
Oh, good.
I think that's how this goes.
Oh,
He breaks down and he's like, I work with fucking killers and they will kill me. And they'll kill my family. I'm just trying to get a paycheck. What are you doing to me? I thought we were friends, Zedrav. I thought we were friends.
This is the worst outcome.
This might be the meanest thing I've ever done in a Blades game. I know this might be up there, like the terrible thing I've ever done.
Oh man. Lauren,
and it's ugly snot crying, so that's where we're
I
at.
am totally not willing to push this investigation further. I'm sorry. Rip souls out of bodies, shove them into collars, no problem. Giant crying man, I'm out. Do you have an idea? Because like once you come out of control, the next one, either we can try controlled again with a different skill, or we can try relate again at risky. I could try and extract the information out of him, but I mean, he's not wrong. I am pretty sure that if the warden even suspects that he dropped the dime on anyone, she will murder him, his family, and his little dog too. So,
oh no. That's really, yeah. This is the like hardest decision I've had to make in a role playing game for some time. Ooh.
I've got a cuddly kitty to comfort me.
Nice.
That's good.
How far are you willing to go?
Oh, I could get. Oh no. I could try and question him instead and get a little bit meaner and try and put pressure on him.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's like, because he's a really sweet guy.
I think it's a different thing, right? So it's, I think it's still controlled great.
And I think like, I think Maya gives the pretense of being kind of nice. Like she'll take his hand and like hold it on the table, but sort of fix him with her weird sort of like purpley ghosty eyes. And says, oh.
And I feel like if you had questioned him to start, it might have even been risky. But like, he's lost all composure. So like questioning him now is not risky. It's controlled great.
Yeah, and I think she takes his hand and she probably digs in a little bit, and he maybe feels a little bit of her nail, and she says like, just tell us what you know, and everything will be fine.
Cool.
That was Lauren being mean.
The Strash wants to assist you, but I think Drav is just like, oh fuck. I ain't spending stress on this. I'm just like, shit, how do I make it? I get him a drink. I'm like, I'll be right back. I look super uncomfortable.
I think her eyes get even a bit more purpley glowy. A little bit scary. Because it was controlled standards. What was this? Sorry.
Controlled great. Controlled great.
Oh, cool. Oh, I think I will push myself.
Cool.
Okay, we got a 5.
It's not uncontrolled. It's fine. Uncontrolled. Yeah. It's okay. We can. I think it's do it with a minor consequence or end up in a risky situation. I think.
Cool. So the minor consequence is I'm going to start a clock.
Don't call it Ogre's family.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to start a 6-part clock that is the warden finds out about Ogre.
Oh, what have I
done? You did your job. Sometimes this is what happens. It's the worst day.
Oh.
So it's 6-part clock. It's there. It's brewing. It's in the background. And he drops. He says, when the warden has to do shit off books, she goes to Cross Anathok. He's a bad man. He's a really bad man. There are all kinds of rumors about him. That he's not even a guard. He's a prisoner who just walks in and out. He's the worst.
And I think, oh, sorry.
Yeah, he just.
And I think like Maya loosens her grip a little bit and smiles at Ogre. It's just like, there, that wasn't so hard, was it? And gives his hand a little like a pat.
Yeah, and like I think there's a little bit of blood in his hand. It was harder than you thought. And he says, I know that Cross has a special friend he sees in the night market.
I think I looked at Drav and cock an eyebrow. Like, what do you know of this Cross person?
I think I give you a tired look, and I say, I'll find out what I can by tomorrow. And you get the sense that I like, while we were hot on the trail and stuff was looking good, I was like a dog with a bone. And now that we're staring down the barrel of taking on the warden, and I've got this guy whose family might get killed, I'm like, yeah, I think we're done for today. I think we'll start this up in the morning kind of look.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I think I leave I leave more coins than I probably should, which means that I don't get dinner on the way home. Because I'm a Bluecoat, right? Like I don't
right.
get paid that much, and
right.
But the reason I leave those extra coins is to like either settle the tab or extend the tab for Ogre, so that we're gone and he's not seen drinking with me until the wee hours in the morning, right? But like he's gonna be taken care of for at least a little bit, and then yeah, this is like one of those I go to my crappy apartment type scenarios where I'm on the 3rd floor of some crowded tight building somewhere in Coleridge or sorry, Dunslow, because that's my beat.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think it's I'm gonna have to put out some feelers and see what I know about people in Night Market. And did you say Cross Anathok?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna find out what I can about this Cross Anathok fellow and or the lady that he happens to visit in Night Market before I meet up with our investigator. But Lauren, I would love to hear about what your fine-coded investigator might be up to, like what your life is like in the evening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I think they probably haven't been in Doskville apart from stopping by to sort of drop off goods or people sort of transporting things to and from the Deathlands. And they probably go to the quarters that they've been given like for this job for a while they're here, for like they kind of like paid for housing. But oh man, it isn't cramped, but it feels very cramped because I don't think Maya is used to sort of being in urban, sort of like very populated areas. And so after like sort of sitting on her bed for a while, sort of twiddling her thumbs, she grabs her coat, I think, and has to like take off again and be on the move. She probably goes to go see her horse.
You have a horse?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I think it's part of her vice. Part of her vice is just going for a ride out in the Deathlands because because
normal people do that sort of thing, right?
Oh my god! Why can't you just do drugs like a normal person? Oh my lord! That is wild. Does your horse have a name?
Oh yeah, the horse's name is Kakra.
Awesome.
Yeah. It looks. I think it's probably like it has a quite a dark coat and probably has. Oh, it's got to have like a bit of a white mane that ends in purple, like right, that kind of thing.
Cool.
You have a color matching horse.
Yeah.
Accessorized horse.
It's all the fashion.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool. So Judd, do you want me to roll like a my plan is to hit up, like, go and put my ear to the ground, talk to people that I happen to know. So I was just gonna roll some relate, if that's okay. That's my action.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, like, essentially, this is my equivalent of consorting for information in the appropriate area.
Cool.
What's my position?
Risky great.
Okay. These are interesting words. Let me,
I mean, I think because you're looking for someone who's very dangerous, right?
I really am. So let me do a thing here. All right. Risky great. Well, we'll see how that goes. It might be desperate here in a hot second. Whoop. Nope. I whiff real hard. You should tell me what happens.
You are in a bar, and you've kind of like, you started in Bluecoat bars, and then you kind of like started circling out and out, and you're way on the fringe of legality. Like you're basically at old bars you used to go to when you were in a gang. And a man, you're like sitting there, and a guy's and you ask about Cross, and someone, like another person's like, yeah, I know you're Hopper's friend, but I gotta go. I'll see you later. And they get out of there, and then someone slides into the seat in the across from you, and has a gun on the table pointed at you, like just like nonchalant, like other people would have a drink, and it's a man in a three-piece suit with the collar open, and he has a cross painted on the side of his Abe Lincoln. What are those called?
Top hat?
Top
Stovepipe hat?
Yeah, he's got like a stovepipe hat. Not fancy schmancy, but not worn and battered either. And he says, I hear you're looking for me. I'd like to know what's going on.
I really wish my investigator was here right now. I think I look at the man and I say, your name came up in an Imperial investigation.
Really? I'm honored.
Probably not the reaction you should be having. You never, ever want the governor to know exactly who you are.
That's probably true. But I figure I'm killing 2 people away from that ever happening. So I'm feeling pretty confident right about now, seeing how I'm pointing a gun at one of them.
Oh, boy.
I feel like I'm halfway there. So why don't you explain to me the ins and outs of this investigation, and my finger won't get itchy.
Sounds good. Don't want you to have an itchy finger, neighbor. And let me see. There are things I am good at, but this could end really, really bad. I think I'm gonna open up with, I'm gonna say, like, we're actually looking for you right now. Just ask a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I hold up my hands and I say, like, you'll note I didn't bring guns.
No.
I say, the questions that we have right now are actually about the warden.
Mm-hmm.
You feeling inclined to answer any questions?
No.
Do you know who I am?
Let's see. Let's see if he knows.
Awesome.
Let's
I
just roll
was in
1d.
the underworld briefly.
Yeah. Let's just roll a d6.
Do you want to do it? I didn't.
Um.
Yeah, just click roll fortune on any sheet, and it should work for you.
Cool. I don't have any sheets up, so hold on 1 second.
If you want, I can just I can.
Yeah, if you could just click it, that'd be awesome.
1.
Yep.
Boop. No, it's a 1.
No, I don't. And I think you're not. Are you in your blue coat jacket at all right now?
Probably not. I am actually probably incognito because like we were gonna ask questions around town. We weren't really trying to attract attention, right? Like I probably have my badge on the inside of my coat. But the question that I was asking him was not, do you know that I'm a blue coat and you're about to shoot a blue coat? The question that I was actually asking is, do you know who I was in the underworld and what my tricks are?
Right.
And when he says no, give me just a moment.
Yes.
I think this is then I just go, good. And then I'm gonna hit him with the table. So,
awesome.
yeah, it's just like one of those moments where like I'm sitting across from him, I had my hands up, I gently put them down, and I'm like, "Do you know who I am?" And the moment his eyes go, I just shove the table like directly into him and flip it up to like absorb the shot that's coming.
Awesome.
So, I'm gonna push myself, and I'm going hot on assault.
Yeah.
Badass.
What's my position? I'm expecting desperate, but it's
desperate standard. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Crit.
Holy cow.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's just like a can I narrate this, Judd? Is this okay?
Yes, you can narrate it.
Yeah, I think like I said, I flip the table, the shot hits it, I actually like shove it into him. There's that like classic struggle, and then like 2 seconds later I have like hit him on the ground with my knee in his back and like manacles being slapped on his hands, and I go, good, everybody seems to fucking know my name these days, and then I just smash his head once into the floor, and awesome. I am in a cafe having a cup of coffee when the investigator shows up with like with his hands behind him in a chair next to me.
Yeah. I think his pretty nose is the wrong way, and one of his eyes is shut. And
where's his hat?
His hat is fucking nowhere. Who knows? Who knows?
I think I left it for the barkeep to pay for damages. But yeah, I'm just like, found cross, and then I slide a coffee over to where you're supposed to be sitting.
And I think Maya like does that cocked eyebrow like look up at Cross and then finishes on Drav and is like, well, I can see you've been busy this evening. I take it things went well.
Another day on the job, ma'am.
I think he smiles at you. And then maybe toes. Is Cross like awake, or is he?
Yeah. He's awake. He's probably concussed. But he's awake. Yeah.
I think like Maya toes him, and then says, "Mr. Cross is a he him.
Yeah, he him.
And I think Mr. Cross. I'm so glad that our paths were crossed this evening. My colleague has saved us much time. How about we talk?"
I give him a look, and I just say, "You feel like answering questions now?"
I think,
awesome.
Maya will sit down and grab her coffee, and we'll ask some questions of Mr. Cross.
What do you want?
I've heard that you have some friends up there on the towers, and we would love to know more about them. I'm quite in the business of making friends these days, given that I am new to Duskfall. specifically Warden
Moreland.
Warden Morlin. I take it you two are close.
Friends up on the. Are you talking about the tower shooting that you were all over the other day?
Indeed, I am. You're a clever gentleman.
Give me a break. It's a simple shoot job. Who cares? It was done by. What?
If only it were. I have reason to suspect that it was not merely a simple tower shoot job, but that there was quite the prize involved on the bridge.
Yeah, listen. Moreland came to me. She said, "We got a shoot job. Do we have any guards who have sharpshooting experience who are expendable?" I said, "Yes." I named 3. I put them up in the tower. I told them what to do, and then I beat them to death.
That was really the extent of your involvement.
What are you looking for? Some conspiracy? We killed a couple of drug runners.
Real quick, just Judd, so that I am clear. Were there 3 bodies or were there 2 bodies?
Yes, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, you had 3. Yep. Who cares? You killed a couple of drug dealers. There wasn't anybody in that car who was important. The carriage, it was a fancy carriage. Who gives a fuck?
I give Investigator Tui a look and I say, is this enough evidence? I'm like, this is a testimony. Is this enough evidence to pull her in? I don't know if we have to roll to like see if we get like.
Oh yeah. This is when my law degree kicks in, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is not legal testimony.
It's true. I don't know that though. I'm just like, oh, is this enough, investigator? You know this fancy law degree.
Yeah, I don't know that Deskval's laws are as
rigorous.
As rigorous.
No, not at all. Yeah, I feel like is there a way we could I don't know. So I feel like it would be compelling if he sort of testified. But I don't know how we can get in front of someone else.
So, fun fact, I think that testify is an actual skill. And what it allows us to do is to actually write the reports in such a fashion that, like, our evidence becomes legit. I have no idea if you have any dice in it. Well, actually, I have your sheets right here.
Oh, I have 1 dice. I have 1 die in it.
So here's my suggestion. What we could do is have you write up the report on this investigation and his testimony, and I could attempt to assist you, and that will produce whatever legal documentation we need to actually like count this as like a piece of evidence, I think. There's like some subset of rules apparently about testifying in front of court once you actually have enough pieces, but like right now what we're trying to do is produce enough information that we could then use that as leverage to try and get some backup to try and actually tango with Moreland.
Excellent. That sounds like a fantastic way to get some evidence that we can flash around.
In which case, I will spend a stress to assist you in paperwork by bringing the appropriate forms. Go ahead.
And just structurally, I'm going to say that should we say that the first bit of the investigation, the first thing, the first job, for lack of a better word, is over?
That feels good.
And then we'll make this roll. We'll figure out the post-roll stuff, and then we'll do some downtime, and then we can set up, like, if the testify rolls suggests that you could bring in Moreland, then we'll set up the bringing in of Moreland.
That sounds good.
As the next job, and we can continue with the next job. We've only been at this a little bit, so we can keep playing if you want. But I just want to I feel like with the investigative thing, it's less clear when like a job is done, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to like set up that structure so that we've got it.
Yeah, this feels like a good sort of like capstone. So yeah, I agree with you 100. Looking at the mandate, there is the warrant, and then you can either capture a subject or procure evidence. And I feel like we have a subject, so like if we're following the trail of investigation, this feels like a good spot, right?
Yeah.
Totes.
So Lauren, I have assisted you get +1D. I do not know if you want to push. We'll probably get a chance to vice, but I don't know how good our vice rolls are going to be this early.
Yeah, I think this is an important time to push oneself. Although I can expend. I've sanctioned, so I can expend. If I click this, it should. Yeah, bring it up in the chat. I have I can expend special armor once to push myself in the line of duty.
This is pretty cool.
So I'll roll up testify. What's my position for this testify roll?
I have no idea. How does that work? How does any of this work?
Just think about the consequences. Like, if we are going to be taken out of action for a long period of time, it's probably desperate. If the worst that's going to happen is we might have to try something more drastic, it's probably controlled. Anything in the middle is risky. That's pretty much how you do it. You just find a little...
Cool. I'm going to say... I mean, you got her second in command, so I'm going to say it's risky standard.
All right.
Sounds good.
When in doubt, default.
Yeah. Whereas we used to call it in the old game, I played whiskey standard, which is what we always call it.
Oh, I got a 6.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Thanks for your help.
And it's your push. You're sanctioned.
Yeah.
Cool. So what I think that looks like in play is your friend, the head magistrate, writes you a warrant for Warden Moreland's arrest to bring her in on suspect of illegal drug trafficking and murder.
All right.
Excellent.
She says to you, I wouldn't charge into Iron Hook with this. Just so you know, I'd be subtle. There's a ball in Brightstone next week. Moreland should be there. That might be when you want to do this.
I like this lady.
Let's name her, right? Without a doubt. Her name is Carissa Dalmore, head magistrate. And I'll write up an NPC sheet for the considerable amount of NPCs this creates.
Cool story. So, I have a question. Do you folks... We've been playing for another hour. Do you folks want to take a quick break and then we can jump into downtimes? Is that the...
Sure.
Does that sound
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Well, folks, thank you for hanging out with us still, and we should be back in like 5 minutes, so stick around, and we'll see some downtimes in Bluecoats at a ball. This is going to end so well.
It's so good. I can't talk to anyone. Awesome.
See you, folks.